You've done the hard part. You've worked, you've budgeted, and now you have some extra cash. But this is where a truly important decision comes in. It's a choice that could mean the difference between simply protecting your money and actually growing it into real wealth. Do you save it, or do you invest it? So many people think these are the same thing, but they are fundamentally different. Getting this wrong is one of the biggest missed opportunities in personal finance. In this video, we're going to break down, once and for all, whether you should be saving or investing, using simple, real-world examples to help you finally understand the key differences and make the right choice for your financial future. Imagine for a second you have an apple. You could put that apple in the refrigerator. It'll be safe. It'll be there tomorrow, and you know exactly what you have. One apple. That's saving. Or you could take the seeds from that apple, plant them, and over time, grow an entire orchard. That's investing. Both have their place, but knowing when to refrigerate and when to plant is the secret to building a secure and prosperous financial life. So, what should you do with your apples? Let's find out. First, let's talk about the refrigerator, saving. At its core, saving is just putting money aside in a safe, easily accessible place for future use. Think of it as parking your money in a secure garage. It's not going anywhere, it's not growing much, but it's protected and ready the moment you need it. The main purpose of saving isn't to make you rich, it's to provide security and stability. This is the money you use for two main things: short-term goals and emergencies. Short-term goals are things you plan to buy within the next few years, typically less than 5. This could be a down payment for a car, a wedding, or that big vacation you've been dreaming of. You know you'll need this money soon, so you can't afford to risk losing it. The second, and arguably most important purpose of saving is building an emergency fund. This is your personal financial safety net. Life is unpredictable. Cars break down, water heaters burst, and unexpected job losses can happen. Without an emergency fund, these situations can force you into high-interest debt, or, even worse, force you to sell your long-term investments at the worst possible time. Financial experts generally recommend an emergency fund that can cover 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. This fund gives you peace of mind, knowing that a financial shock won't derail your entire life. The most common places to save money are designed for safety and accessibility. These include traditional savings accounts, the most basic option, available at any bank. High-yield savings accounts, HYSAs. These are almost always online and offer significantly higher interest rates than traditional accounts. As of late 2025, some HYSAs are offering rates upwards of 4 to 5%. Money market accounts, a hybrid of checking and savings accounts, sometimes offering check-writing abilities and debit cards, with interest rates often comparable to HYSAs. Certificates of deposit, CDs. With a CD, you agree to leave your money with a bank for a set period, from a few months to several years, in exchange for a fixed, guaranteed interest rate. The key takeaway for saving is this: it's all about low risk and high liquidity, meaning you can get your cash quickly. Your money is often FDIC insured up to $250,000, so you're not going to lose it. The trade-off for this safety is a low return. Now, let's talk about planting that orchard. Investing. If saving is about protecting your money for the short term, investing is about growing your money for the long term. When you invest, you are buying assets that have the potential to increase in value over time. Instead of just parking your money, you're putting it to work. You're becoming a part owner in global businesses and sharing in their success. The primary purpose of investing is to build wealth for long-term goals. Goals that are typically 5 or more years away. This is the money for your retirement, your children's education, or a house you plan to buy in a decade. For these distant goals, just saving your money isn't enough. In fact, it's a losing strategy, and the main villain is a silent wealth killer called inflation. Inflation is the rate at which the cost of living goes up, which eats away at the purchasing power of your money. If your savings account pays 4% interest, but inflation is at 3%, your money only truly grew by 1%. If inflation is higher than your interest rate, you are effectively losing money. Investing gives you the potential to earn returns that significantly outpace inflation, growing your purchasing power over time. Of course, This potential for higher returns comes with a critical trade-off: risk. The value of investments like stocks can go up and down dramatically. Unlike a savings account, there are no guarantees, and you could lose money. This is why investing is for the long term. It gives your money time to recover from market downturns and benefit from the power of long-term growth. Common types of investments for beginners include stocks. A share of stock represents a small piece of ownership in a single company. Bonds. Essentially, a loan you make to a government or corporation, which pays you interest over a set period. Mutual funds and ETFs, exchange-traded funds. These are the go-to for most beginners. They are collections of dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of stocks and bonds in a single fund. They provide instant diversification, which is the golden rule of investing. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Investing is about seeking higher potential returns, but that comes with higher risk. It's less liquid than savings, as it can take a few days to sell your investments and get the cash. Its main superpower is its ability to beat inflation and build serious wealth over the long haul. So let's see this in action. Let's compare a saver and an investor. Imagine both start with $10,000. Our saver, let's call her Sarah, puts her $10,000 into a high-yield savings account, earning a generous 4% APY. Sarah is smart. She's earning much more than a traditional savings account, and she's prioritizing safety. Our investor, let's call him Ivan, puts his $10,000 into a low-cost S&P 500 index fund. This fund simply tracks the 500 largest companies in the US. Over the last 30 years, the historical average annual return of the S&P 500 has been about 10%. Ivan understands this comes with risk. Some years will be down, some will be way up. He's focused on long-term growth. Let's hit the fast-forward button and jump 20 years into the future. Sarah, the saver, has been earning her steady 4% interest. After 20 years, her initial $10,000 has grown to about $22,000. That's not bad. Her money is safe and more than doubled. Now let's look at Ivan, the investor. Assuming his investment achieved that historical average return of 10% per year, his initial $10,000 has grown to over $67,000. That is a staggering difference of over $45,000. This is the power of compounding growth. But here's where it gets even more critical. We have to account for inflation. If we assume an average inflation rate of 3%, the real purchasing power of Sarah's $22,000 is significantly less. Ivan's investment, on the other hand, grew much faster than inflation, meaning he has massively increased his real wealth and what he can actually buy with his money. This example clearly shows the different roles they play. Sarah's savings account would have been the perfect place for her emergency fund or a house down payment she needed in 3 years. But for her retirement fund, keeping it all in savings would have been a massive missed opportunity. Ivan took on more risk, but by staying invested for the long term, he was handsomely rewarded. So the question isn't really, should I save or invest? For a healthy financial plan, the answer is, you need to do both. But which one do you focus on, and when? Here's a simple rule of thumb many financial planners use: the 5-year rule. If you need the money in less than 5 years, you should save it. The timeline is too short to risk a market downturn. The money for your wedding next year, a car in 2 years, or a house down payment in 4 years belongs in a high-yield savings account where the principal is safe. If you won't need the money for more than 5 years, you should consider investing it. This long-time horizon gives your investments the time they need to ride out market volatility and harness the power of compounding. This is for retirement, which could be decades away, or other long-term ambitions. The most important first step, before you even think about serious investing, is to build that emergency fund. You must have a financial cushion in a safe savings account. Having 3 to 6 months of living expenses saved provides a buffer that prevents you from ever being forced to sell your investments at a loss to cover an unexpected bill. Think of it as your foundation. You don't build the walls and roof of a house before you pour the concrete foundation. So, let's bring this all together into a simple, actionable plan. First, let's recap the key differences. Saving is for short-term goals and emergencies. It's low risk, low return, and highly liquid. Investing is for long-term wealth growth. It's higher risk, has higher potential returns, and is the best tool to fight inflation. Your first step, starting today, is to open a high-yield savings account and start building your emergency fund. Calculate what it costs you to live for 1 month, rent, food, utilities, transportation, and multiply it by 3. That is your first savings goal. Automate a transfer from your checking account every payday, even if it's just a small amount. The habit is what matters. Once your emergency fund is in place, you can start your investing journey. You don't need a lot of money. Many modern brokerage platforms let you start with as little as $1 and buy fractional shares of stocks and ETFs. You can open a tax-advantaged retirement account like a Roth IRA and set up small, automatic monthly investments into a broad, low-cost index fund. This strategy, called dollar cost averaging, is perfect for beginners because it takes the emotion out of investing. You've already taken a huge step just by watching this video and learning. The choice between saving and investing isn't a one-time decision, but a lifelong strategy. By understanding the unique power of both, you can move from just protecting your money to actively building the financial future you deserve. So now I want to hear from you. Based on what you've learned today, what is your next financial step? Are you focused on building your emergency savings, or are you ready to start investing for the long term? Let me know in the comments below. Your journey inspires others. And if you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you for watching, and here's to building your wealth.